Hello, everyone. Um, Welcome to the weekly origami session. I hope this can give you a little bit of peace and rest and focus on something else. Such difficult, awful times. How things have changed in a week. Fingers crossed for peace and for some way to give people their country back. Anyway, I will try to stick to the origami, which is what we're here for. So I hope this will be a really good focus. We're going to do a couple of folds actually this time. I don't know whether my chat's working. Don't know whether you're there or not. For some reason, my chat's not coming up. So, it is working. Thanks, Stephen. Thank you. Yes, I had a very good break. Yes, goodness, so much happened. I'd forgotten I did have a break, and it did make a big difference, actually. Just went to Bristol for a few days. Just lovely to have a change of scene and saw some good art as well, and caught up with a friend, and just being somewhere else. It was a bit tricky through the storms. We had to delay traveling because of that. Barbara, good morning. It's lovely to have you here. So this is going to be quite a treat. Something a little bit different. I've been collaborating. Hello, Penny. Great to see you too. Well, I can't see you, but to know you're there. So this is something a little bit different. Been collaborating with origamist Cliff Landesman. I don't know whether you know him. He's a philosopher in background, and he's been working with the Bodleian Library in Oxford, which is where I am. And hello, Melvin. Oh, lovely to have you. And Eric, of course. Thank you very much. This is probably a tricky one for the fingers, actually, Eric. So just enjoy watching this one. So this is different. So these couple of folds this week and actually next week as well are all related to an exhibition which is in the Bodleian Libraries in Oxford, amazing old libraries, and I will be collaborating with them actually with a live event in person, which I rarely do, but this Saturday in Oxford. And it's all to time with an exhibition about a philosopher, John Locke, who was a philosopher in the kind of Enlightenment times. Hello, Eric. Okay. And he sort of had this sort of great way of thinking about what we are. Obviously a philosopher, great one for thinking and thought experiments. And he sort of compared really a person to starting off with that kind of blank slate, and how much of that is from what we become is from what we've learned or from our experiences. This is the great nature-nurture debate, really. But he saw us as a little bit like a blank slate, which is a bit like a blank sheet of paper. And he believed that the kind of experiences shape you, which I think most of us would agree. But obviously there is a lot of what we inherit as well. So a little bit like origami, starts off a blank sheet and we'll make it into something wonderful, which has come from experiences. And he also came up with some great thought experiments. Whoops, lost a boot there. He would one of these thought experiments, which these boots are related to, is whether if you had a prince and a cobbler, someone who's making shoes, and you swap their soles. I'm not quite sure how you do that, but anyway, this is a thought experiment. What is a soul? Yes. Would the cobbler become a prince or not? But of course, interesting things to debate and to think about. So these are the cobbler shoes, I guess. And next week we'll be making a crown. And also, as well, in the exhibition, pieces are propped up with pieces of origami as well. So this is this is a traditional fold, these boots. And they are wonderful little medieval boots. I'd not made this before at all. And it comes from a piece of napkin folding, which I been not familiar with at all. But how fascinating this! Obviously, origami has originated different ways, and particularly medieval Germany. These are the sort of earliest drawings that I understand have come from. Welcome, Jess. That's great. Yes, do just watch. So those earliest diagrams actually of folding come from medieval Germany, and this will be one of those sort of medieval folds, and it's just really lovely. These little boots, it's lovely to think what could walk inside them, so there's something quite fun So we'll be making a boot. Also, we're going to start off with something quite simple, which in the exhibition is used to hold up the books, which is a very, very simple but amazing design from Jeremy Schaefer, and he's given permission for using this in the exhibition. So it's a very simple design and can be practical and used to, in this case, prop up my phone. So you could do that to to hold things and to be able to watch. So super simple and super practical. So we're going to start off super simple, and then we're going to have a go at making the boots. Next week, I'll be showing you how to make the crown, which is in the exhibition, and a cube as well, which is also related to a thought experiment. So something a bit different. If you happen to come to Oxford, then I will be in the Western Library from 1 till 3:30. And we'll have a microphone, a visualizer, so it can be a bit of a distance because I don't want to be getting up close, but showing people how to fold things as well. So it's going to be really fun. Looking forward to that. And big thanks to Cliff, how amazing, a origami friend in New York, has mentioned me within Oxford. So it's a small world which all folds together in a very nice shape. Right, I have chatted enough. Grab yourself a piece of paper. I think we're going to make a phone stand from one half, and we can make half of a boot on one. Excellent. Oh, yes, that's a really good idea. I like that idea, putting little sweets in them. Yeah, and they really do have little holes in there. So, oh, lovely. Someone else mentioned they're doing something Robin Hood related, and again, that feels quite fun. So it makes me think a little bit of, I don't know, Jack in the, yeah, is it Puss in Boots? Yeah, all sorts of, it sort of brings up fairy tale feels, doesn't it? So I'm grabbing something to press on. And we're going to do the first thing, which is super, super simple. A stand to be able to put your phone and watch things on. So here goes. So this is from Jeremy Schaefer. So I'm going to take a piece of A4 and fold it in half. If you have got origami paper, it's usually made from this kind of 15 by 15 centimetre piece. Whatever you've got will be fine. Just folding it over. I always show from A4 paper, which is similar to letter, just so you can see that you don't need special paper. There we go. So I'm simply going to make a square first of all. So taking a corner and bringing it down, make that nice little right angle triangle. Again, just take your time. Enjoy going slowly. That's it. Oh, go very slowly on this. Why not? The luxury of time. Allowing yourself that. Not convinced that's completely square, but that's fine. Great. Yes. Oh, that's a good idea. Well, these boots would have been made out of napkins, so it had a material. I suppose you could make it out of leather, although to be frank, you can't get a shoe in there. You can't get your foot in there. It doesn't quite work as a shoe, unfortunately, but they do look lovely. I'm going to remove that strip, so I'm going to bring this up and squash it down. Yeah, I'd love to hear what you end up doing with your little shoes. It's almost like a thought experiment itself, because actually making the shoes, you just start imagining what could stand in them. There's something quite delightful about that. Our imagination, I can't but help imagine what could be in something. Yeah, excellent. Oh, that's a great idea, Jess. There's also some nice little seed holders as well, but for growing paper might, I suppose maybe you could use plastic. Well, yeah, a great idea. See, I'm curious as to what you end up doing there. So I've got one diagonal line. I'm going to do the other diagonal line as well. So this is the phone holder. Super simple. That's it. Now keep that closed. So we did one diagonal, we did the other. Now keep it closed like this. There we go. Right, we're almost done. Believe it or not, it is that simple. But that is his genius. He is an amazing origamist. So we're going to take one corner and bring it up to the top, like so, on one side. Squash it down. And then Are you all with me? And then this is the corner that you open up. And can you see it's now formed a nice little triangle. Now I find it a little bit stronger. So I guess that bottom bit is that little extra flap is at the bottom for me. I'm going to slightly give it a little rim at the bottom, which will help keep the phone in place. But you could use it for propping up all sorts of things, really. Just a very nice little practical thing. Let's see if this works. Did you follow that? And obviously this, and oh, there we go. And it does work. Oh, I like how it feels as if it's reading my mind. Those are the colours of Ukraine, aren't they? Came up there. There we go. So that's our phone stand, or you could use it as a book stand. That's what it's used for in the exhibition. And it's a lovely little shape, isn't it? I just enjoy the light and shadow there. Again, just be playful. You can really appreciate structures and form and function here. Lovely. Yes. So that's our first fold. Let's have a go at making the shoes. I haven't practiced it that much, but the more practice I have, the better, because it is a really good model, isn't it? That's from Jeremy Schaefer. Yeah, the more practice, the better, because I'm going to be demonstrating this live in person as well. But there we go. Right, our other half a piece of paper. This fold, we're actually going to make a square and then halve that square. So we're just going to use a rectangle. But the great thing is from one square, you can make two shoes if you continue. Great. So, wow. Oh, that's a great idea. That's fantastic, making them look lovely with some little... Yes, you're right. It would. Certainly would fit some good soil in there. Lovely idea. Oh, I'd love to see them growing. So I'm going to take a corner, just making a square. That's all. Make our square. If you have A4 paper, actually, I would even use the entire sheet to make a square. You can make them good size. I'm going to remove a rectangle. There we go. Good strong fold. Yes. Good idea, Laura. There we go. So I've got a square. And just going to make half a square. So I'm going to make a rectangle. So just fold it across top to bottom. Make that rectangle. Good strong fold. And again, made a good fold. Then I can do a little nick. And there we go. Lovely. So you've got half a square, and we can make, out of that whole square, we can make two shoes. How cool is that? Yeah. So take a piece of paper. Doesn't really matter which way. I'm simply going to fold it in half. So I'm going to take the top to the bottom. I am curious with this, because if it's a napkin fold, most napkins are usually a square, aren't they? So how did they do it? Did they double the thickness, or did they cut their napkins in half just to make the boots? I don't know. That's not something I know, but I was just wondering about. There we go. So I folded it up like so. Happy? We're next going to do a halfway line in the middle. So I'm going to take this end, bring it over to this, just to make a nice halfway point. Have any of you made these shoes before, these medieval shoes? It's the curling up at the end of the boot that's really nice. There we go. So it was the half square, folded in half, and then doing a halfway line. Hoping you're all with me now. So our next step in a moment is to take this bottom edge and we're going to bring it up to that vertical edge. So I'm going to bring this up here. So it's that bottom edge, and I'm going to bring it to that vertical edge. Like so. Here we go. And then the same with the other side. So taking that bottom edge and bring it up. Oh, yes. Yeah, I don't know, Eric. I'm curious about this as a napkin fold because it's from a rectangle. Okay, so it should be looking like this. Don't worry if you've got that line or not, it doesn't matter. It's not relevant. So looking a bit like it could become a heart, isn't it? Lovely. Oh, excellent. So I'm going to do now the outside diagonal fold and bring it to the middle. So it's sort of tightening it up. It feels as if it could now become a good paper aeroplane, but it's going to be a boot. So like that, but I might need to do this on a solid surface. Oh, excellent. So it was that bottom edge there, and I brought it to the middle. And same here, that bottom edge up to the vertical. So this is what it should be looking like. How's that all going for you? Is that working? I'm assuming so. So our next step, are you ready for the next step? Take a mouthful of coffee just in case you're waiting to get there. Right, so our next step is to take this structure and fold it inwards, like so. You see, so it's like that, and I folded it inwards. Now I'm going to think about, great, thank you, Stephen. There's always that little lag, isn't there? That this open bit will be the bottom of the shoe. So I'm going to turn that down. Then can you see this will be the bottom of the shoe? So there's a little piece there. This will be the bottom of the shoe. And I'm going to take now one side. Are you all happy there? So you got, think of that, you got your bottom of your shoe there. It's on the ground. Later on we'll curl it up, which is a really nice bit. We don't really have shoes like that anymore, do we? Right, we're going to take the bottom of this edge piece of paper and just bring it up. It will just quite naturally go up there. Now I would line this bit up with that little pocket there. Make sure that you do have a little bit of a pocket there. There we go. So I've taken it so it lines up with that pocket. So we have got that little gap there. Now the next thing is just tightening this area up, and the reason is to make it a bit narrower so we can pop it in there. So to do that, we're almost there actually. It feels quite different, doesn't it, from other folds that we've done. I'm going to take this edge and I'm going to line it up here, but with a bit of a gap there. So I am doing this so that it's parallel to that line, but with a gap. I'm going to see what I'm doing first and then show you. I'm sure there's probably many ways of doing this, but it was that bottom edge, and I'm bringing it up so it's parallel, but I'm leaving a little bit of a gap there. That will all help. Are you managing? I hope so. Right, we're almost there. We're next going to take that top bit and just folding it down. As I said, really, it's just making this a little narrow point, because in a moment, you're going to want to pop that into that pocket. Again, I might need to see what I'm doing there. Something like that. Are you happy? So it was up there, wasn't it? And I just took this and I just folded it down. It's a bit of a guesstimate, to be honest. Still feel like I'm working out positions for this. But this is, so it's a little bit narrow. And what we're going to be doing is popping it into that pocket there. So I'm next going to, are you with me or am I going too fast today? Can't quite tell. So I'm going to take this end and I'm going to hopefully slide it into that pocket, which isn't the easiest things to do, but it is possible. To be honest, I've quite often wanted a little pair of something like a nail scissors or a knife or something, just to kind of make that stick out a little bit more. And then popping that in. It is quite a tight. I don't find this the easiest bit of the stage, but it should work. And you can push it in like so. So I managed to push that in. Have you been able to do that as well? So I took that bit which is sticking out and I curved it around and I pushed it into that pocket, which is a little bit tricky to get it to be a pocket, which is why I used a little pair of scissors or, oh, thank you. Yes, I'm sure you would. Somehow you managed to type at the same time as making. I don't know how you do that, but thank you for the, breaking the silence, because it's hard to know actually, isn't it, for others? You can see we're almost there. It's looking quite shoe-like, but not quite 3D. So just 2 more steps to make it 3D, really. The first one is the top of the boot. Can you see there's quite a few different layers there? So I want you to get your finger in at the very back layer. It's quite a tricky one to show, isn't it? This is going to be quite interesting to demonstrate. Oh, I'm not surprised. Marnie, Laura, do have a look. I've recorded a video already, so hopefully that will be a little bit easier. And actually, this is quite small, so I think even I'm going to use a little pair of nail scissors just to be able to. So I'm going to the very back layer there, and then you can pop your finger in. Oh, hand's not working. That's not good. But tomorrow will be a better day. But basically, the very back layer, you should be able to open up. And that's about as far in as it would go. But it looks nice. Yeah. And then the only next step, which is the nicest step of all, is curling that lovely shoe up. And it will give it a lovely medieval feel. Makes me really want to wear one like this. So to do that, this is you can see it's flat under there. And you're just gently beginning to push it in and curl it up. And it will end up probably quite unique because they're all a little bit different. So you're just sculpting it, shaping it. And actually, as you're shaping it, it makes it sort of stronger too. Look, it's really quite an elegant little foot, actually. Yeah, you're welcome. Did you want me to show you with the second half of piece of paper? Shall we try it one more time? It is a bit like a Moroccan slipper. Shall we give it one more go? Because I know it's not a particularly easy one to follow. I'm happy to give it a go one more time. Yes, yes, it reminds me of that too. Very much the sort of medieval Brothers Grimm collection of tales as well. So I've got my other half. Yep, let's do it. And don't worry if you still find you're not able to do it. I have made. Oh, that's a good idea. Can you colour one side? Sure. I've only got a pencil, but I will colour one side. For those of you who've got colour paper. So thanks for asking, Penny. That's a very good idea. So I'm going to turn it over, I think, to the white side. And I'm going to fold it in half along the middle. This is with my other half. There we go. Yeah, it does bring back the Ladybird book. There's something so delightful about it. It does bring me to a different place as well. If you have something like nail scissors or a little kind of letter opening tool, that kind of thing, I think could be quite useful. So it's not the easiest, is it? I'm going to fold this in half. So I'm going to take this side over to this side. So folding it in half in the middle, like so. And it's something this I need to practice lots of times, really, to get more fluent. So you may be picking up on me that I need more practice too. but I like to keep it real, so I'm not too polished. So I'm joining you in the adventure. So you're going to take this bottom line and fold it up along that halfway point. Again, it's usually best on a solid surface. And same with the other one. So that bottom edge to that vertical line. It always reminds me of a heart at this point. Like so. Is that good? Excellent. Yeah, that could make it into a heart. We're going to take this lower diagonal line and bring it up to the vertical. So taking this and bringing it in. It's boot number 2. I suppose you should do a kind of mirror image really of the other. Oh, dearie me, the spatial side is a little bit too challenging at times. That's it. And the bottom edge to the middle. I'm going to keep it the same way around or else I'll confuse myself. So here's the shape that we've got. How's it looking for you? Oh, mine's looking a little bit off actually, so I'm just going to check what I've done there. Joys of folding into a lens. Things, if you're doing it in the air, can twist a bit. I think that twisted. That looks more symmetrical. So I'm taking it as it is and folding it inwards. Like so. It's quite thick probably. Now I'm going to turn it round so it's got the foot. That bit will be the bottom of the shoe. And I'm going to have that down, I think maybe around this way. So I've got the bottom of my shoe down there. And the bottom really is up to that little line there. Are you following me? I guess I'm going faster this time because I'm assuming hopefully you've been giving it a go first time round and this helps reinforce, or maybe it'll figure out, and if not, there is the video there already. So we're going to start making the top of the boot, and to do that I'm going to take this bottom edge and I'm going to fold it up along where the pocket is so that the pocket will be there. Can you see? So there's the pocket. And I'm folding this bottom edge up to that pocket line. There we go. Yeah, I'm thinking of Puss in Boots. It feels like pantomime stuff, doesn't it? Maybe that's where our sort of medieval stuff is kept. I don't know. And now we're going to be doing this little bit of folding at this end purely so we can poke it into that pocket. That is the reason. If you get the chance, I quite like to make this pocket a little bit more pockety while I'm there. Let's just make sure that this pocket will be available for tucking this in. There we go. Mine's a little bit. There we go. You can see the pockets are sticking out a bit more there. Good. So I am going to take this bottom edge and I'm going to fold it up so it's parallel to that diagonal line. But I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap. I felt that works a little bit better. Oh, thank you, Eric. Very kind. Social media savvy. Well, in a way, this is using it social, isn't it? In a good way. Being nice and kind as a community. There we go. So I just took that bottom edge and I brought it up so it's in parallel there. And I want to also fold over this top. So I'm going to take this and fold it down just so it's narrowing it a bit. So it's a bit of a guesstimate really, honestly. I don't think it matters too much exactly what it's like as long as it can tuck into that pocket. That's the important thing. Are you all with me? I hope you are. If not, there is a video already. And I'm going to take that end and I'm turning it round. And I'm going to try to poke it into that pocket, slide it in. It's not easy. It's not easy. Am I going to be able to do it without even seeing what I'm doing? I don't know. I think I might need to see what I'm doing, to be honest. There we go. So pulling it round. It's a definite hole. I feel like your tongue could stick out with this step, that's for sure. Pushing that in. Heave ho. I think also for giant's foot as well. We don't quite see the whole thing. So that's it. I think mine's stuck in there. Yay. And you want to open up your boots. So to do that, it's that very back layer. Again, to be honest, scissors will be better for this. Just because it's so small. Oh. Trying to get hold of that back layer. Oh, this is going to be interesting to demonstrate live. Glad I'll have a visualizer. Kind of just a projector so people can see my hands. Done one other event there. It was lovely. There were so many people. Gosh, I'm finding this really tricky. My eyesight really is beginning to go a little bit. Don't do these things live. How are you finding this? It's this opening up, which I'm finding really tricky. Maybe it's the torn edge makes it particularly hard to put the less. Yes. Resistance. But honestly, this will be hard to do with. Oh, I got it and then I lost it. And there we go. So I was just trying to get that back pocket. That's it. There we go. So opening that pocket up, which if you're planting your seeds, then that would be where it would go. I love that idea. Maybe you could plant a tree that will grow out of a little boot, become the giant. That's a good idea. I don't know what I'm going to do for people live in person, families anyway. All we can do is try and encourage. So that's open. And the next bit, which is really a nice, satisfying bit, is at the moment, this is the shoe. It's just gently beginning to push this in and fold it up, shape it up. And actually, as you're gently curling it, it also strengthens it too. There we go. So hopefully, maybe, just maybe. Oh, yeah. Toothpicks might hurt another person. There's probably a risk assessment for that one. Kids with that. I think it's just one of those things I can say, well, you can always just take it home and figure out how to open up that layers. Yeah, to use bigger paper. So maybe I should encourage people to make a big square out of A4 paper and then make a rectangle from that. Maybe that's it. Not to use origami paper because it's quite small actually, isn't it? These, which is trickier. Whereas these ones, I think I've probably made from a whole A4, which is better. Yeah. Well, I hope that's worked for you, or at least you've had some fun. It's good to do something a bit more challenging. Then you forget everything else for a little bit. I found myself forgetting everything else for a little bit, which is a good thing. I hope you've enjoyed that. Next week, I'll be bringing a crown and a cube. So also linked to the exhibition. And I hope that was fun. And I wish you all a good week and look after yourselves. Keep on looking after your well-being and things like folding and being creative, and time with others is a good way of doing that. So I'm very glad to be able to continue offering this as part of my work in the hospital, keeping it remote, so we're keeping people as safe as possible. Look after yourselves. Be possibly napkins. I think we'll have to make do with what we've got, but hey, I can always encourage that positive mindset of, with time or maybe at home, you can open up that back layer. I definitely found it a bit tricky too. You're very welcome. Look after yourself, everyone. And booster on Friday. Congratulations. I hope that goes well for you too. That's very good. Take care. Bye-bye.